Okay, so um, Bureau of Fire Protection. Bureau of Fire Protection is responsible for ensuring public safety through prevention and suppression of all destructive fires on buildings, houses, and other similar structure, forest and land transportations, vehicles and equipment. Ships, vessels docked at piers, wharves or anchored at major seaports, petroleum industry. So ang BFP hindi lang ito yung parang trabaho nila na involved lahat sa fire. Pwede din sa sila kung sila yung malapit na magre-respond kung example may aksidente ganun. Pwede din sila mag-respond dun sa aksidente. And yun, so pwede din nag-a-assist din sila sa mga sa ibang branch ng government ay sa Tri-Bureau, sa PNP nag-a-assist din sila sa AFP kung may mga national emergency. So, ano po. Thank you.
So, good day everyone. I'm going to tell you about the brief history of BFP or the Beauty of Fire Protection. So, on October 19, 1935, Deputy Chief Jacinto Lorenzo became the first Filipino Fire Chief of Manila Department. He was responsible for reduction of duty schedule of the members of the Uniform Force Division from the period of 4 hours day straight. Service with 7 hours day off and 15 hours night off. 48 hours duty and lastly the 24 hours of duty. So by 1944, he was succeeded by Deputy Chief Cipriano Cruz, whose administration bore the brunt of brutal years of Japanese conquest. It is very interesting to note that the darkest moment in the history of Manila Fire Department was during these brutal years of Japanese invasion. So that's it. The Beauty Fire of Protection was established on January 29, 1991 from the units of Philippine Integrated National Police Office of Fire Protection Service under Republic Act 6975, which established the current Interior Department and placed the fire service under its supervisions. Under Act 6975, which established the current Interior Department and placed the fire service under its jurisdiction, the Bureau of Fire Protection was established on January 29, 1991 from the units of the Philippine Integrated National Police Office of Fire Protection Service. And that's all. Thank you.
Adoption of the new vision and mission statements of BFP. In order to serve as overarching force for defining the BFP's organizational purpose and reason for its existence, all units of the BFP at the national, regional, district, and city municipal levels are hereby directed to adopt the new vision and mission statement as follows. Their vision: a modern fire service fully capable of ensuring a fire-safe nation by 2034. While their mission, we commit to prevent and suppress destructive fires, investigate its causes, enforce fire code and other related laws, respond to man-made and natural disasters and other emergency. That's all for my report. Thank you.
So, I will share the mandates and function of Bureau of Fire Protection, BFP. So, today, I will discuss by each item. So, the item is total of 5. So, let's start to number 1. So, be responsible for the prevention and suppression of all destructive fires so that the fire prevention system aims to minimize the potential fire hazard. So fire protection reduce damage and help the safety evacuate a building, so that the fire suppression system are intellectual existing to the flames, so that we can evacuate earlier. So that is number 1. So I go to number 2. So number 2 is be responsible for the enforcement of the fire code of the Philippines PD A1885 and other related to laws of Bureau of Fire Protection. So that number 2 is be responsible for the firefighters, so that we can para maano po yung laws, ma'am. So masunod natin, ma'am, para sa ating mga safety rules, ganun, ma'am. So that is related to fire code, ma'am. So number 3, shall have the power to have investigate all causes of fire and if necessary file the proper complaint with the city and provincial prosecutor who has jurisdiction over the case. So number 3 is connect with investigation all the causes of fire. So ang magkikare po dyan ay yung prosecutor, para malaman po yung saan nagmula yung mga apoy, yung nagawang ano, ma'am, yung nagko-complain, ma'am. So that is number 3. So number 4 is in the time of the national emergency, all elements of the Bureau of Fire Protection shall, upon direction of the President, assist the AFP in the meeting that national emergency. So that number 4 is pag may emergency po ang Bureau of Fire Protection, pwede po tumulong ang AFP para sa kanilang meeting to connect with President, that have connect in the law. So pwede po silang magtulong-tulong para sa kanilang emergency in the time of emergency, ma'am. So number 5, shall establish at least one fire station with adequate personnel, firefighting facilities and equipment in every provincial capital city and municipality, subject to standards, rules and regulations as may be promulgated by. So number 5, establish at least one fire station. So example, dito sa aming probinsya, that subject as give an standard rules and regulation to be promulgated by the Bureau of Fire Protection, ma'am, so that we can have our responsible for the BFP and our public safety, ma'am. So mandates and and functions. So Bureau of Fire Protection is responsible for ensuring public safety and truth prevention and suppression of this destructive fires on buildings, houses, and similar structure, forests, and transportation. Lahat po ng mga nasusunog, ma'am, maano po nila, ma'am, matutulungan po nila para masagap yung apoy, ma'am, para sa safe ng mga tao, ma'am. So that is mandates and function of Bureau of Fire Protection.
Good morning, everyone. I will be the one who's gonna report the organizations and key positions of the BFP, or the Bureau of Fire Protection. Just like the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, or the BGMP, the Bureau of Fire Protection is also respectively headed by a chief who shall be assisted by two deputy chiefs, which are the deputy chiefs for administration and deputy chiefs for the operations. They are appointed by the President upon the recommendation of the DILG Secretary. The head of the BFP, who has a rank of a director, shall have the position title Chief of the Fire Bureau. And the second officer in command of the BFP, who is one of the deputy chiefs, has a rank of Chief Superintendent and shall have the position title Deputy Chief for Administration of the Fire Bureau. And the third officer in command of the BFP, who is also one of the deputy chiefs, has the rank Chief Superintendent and shall have the position title Deputy Chief for Operations of the Fire Bureau. So, the last officer in command of the BFP has the rank Chief Superintendent also and shall have the respectively position title of Chief of Directional Staff. He is assisted by the directors of the directorates in the respective national headquarters office with at least rank of senior superintendent. So that's all. Next report.
The next one is Declaration of Policy and Principles. There is no additional information about this one, so I'm just going to read it for you guys. It is the declared policy of the state to maintain peace and order, protect life, liberty, and property, and promote the general welfare essential for the enjoyment by all the people of the blessings of democracy. Moreover, it recognizes the responsibility of the state to strengthen government capability aimed towards the strengthening of the delivery of basic services to the citizenry through the institutionalization of highly efficient and competent fire and jail services. BFP, as a member of DILG, are required the same amount of sacrifice, service, and dedication, like their counterparts in the PNP and the AFP, to carry out their respective duties to the extent of risking their lives and limbs. The state shall provide for the professionalization and restructuring of the BFP and the BJMP by upgrading the level of qualifications of their uniformed personnel and standardizing their base pay and retirement and benefits, making it par with those of the PNP and the AFP.
So for the head of office fire director, the current fire director as of now is Chief Jose S. Embang Jr. So what is his duty as a fire chief? So the fire chief is responsible for directing all volunteer firefighters and ensuring that firefighters have adequate training. The fire chief is also responsible for ensuring that firefighting equipment is monitored on a regular basis and is in good working. So, ang trabaho niya dito ay ganoon na rin yung mga nag-i-inspect ng mga fire stations Tinitignan kung may training ba talaga yung mga fire officers, gano'n. So, gaya din ng PNP chief, parang may mga similarities din sa mga trabaho nila. For example, yung inspection, gano'n, pareho din yun. Let's run out. So, dito tayo sa laws implemented. Dun sa Republic Act 9514, or known as the Fire Code of the Philippines, ang duty of technical staff nito is the BFP shall constitute a technical staff of highly qualified persons who are knowledgeable on fire preventions, fire safety, and fire suppressions. They may be drawn not only from the organic members of the BFP and other government offices and agencies, but also from other sources. So, dito, ni-explain yung mga highly qualified persons na may alam sa mga fire prevention, ganun, yung dapat constitute ng BFP. So, Republic Act 9263, an act providing for the professionalization of the Bureau of Fire Protection and the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, amending certain provisions of Republic Act number 6975, providing funds thereof and for other purposes. Okay, so I'll be reporting on the current issues controversy about BFP. So first, we have here the Philippine firefighters lack equipment, personal fire trucks, etc. The country's firefighters deal with several challenges every day, responding not only to fire incidents but also natural and man-made calamities. So, yun nga, no, yung mga BFP hindi in charge din sila sa mga, for example, nag-a-assist din sila sa mga AFP, PNP kung may nation emergency, ganun. But aside from external challenges, the men and women of the Bureau of Fire Protection, BFP, also face problems within their organization. The BFP, with a strength of 25,641 officers and personnel, does not have adequate firefighting equipment, and this puts the lives of the firefighters at risk every time they go out in the field. So, dito nga, no, yung mga gamit kasi ng mga BFP, parang mahihirapan sila pag kulang sila sa equipment, ganun. Imbis na mapapadali yung mga pag response nila dun sa kung may fire, ganun. Hindi, mahihirapan kasi uh, yun nga, lack of equipment. The Bureau's spokesman, Chief Inspector Jude De Los Reyes, bared that 50% of their personnel have incomplete personal protective equipment. This includes helmets and boots. So, ito na nga, yung mga pinaka-importante na dapat susuotin ng mga BFP ay hindi kompleto. Tapos, yung sabi nga dito, pati mga uniform nila, pero yung mga protective equipment, paano na lang kung papasok sila sa apoy na kulang yung mga gamit nila. Mapapahamak din sila imbis na kung tutuusin man, part din ng trabaho nila, pero sana wag. The BFP is also short on manpower as it needs at least 11,000 more firefighters to cover the entire country. The lack of manpower is evident during huge fire incidents where they need more warm bodies in the field. So, ito nga yung isa pang problema kasi kulang sila sa mga tao. Kasi yung kung tutuusin sa Tri-Bureau, karamihan ng mga ina-applyan na ano dun sa PNP, yun talaga yung pinag-a-applyan nila na marami. Yung marami. Kasi yung mga BFP, ilan lang din yung mga may gusto dun sa ano sa trabaho na yun. Sa pagiging firefighter or bombera. Aside from lack of personnel and equipment, the BFP revealed that 304 towns in the country still don't have fire stations and fire trucks. 96 of these towns are in the improvised Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. So ito yung hindi lahat ng municipalities may station ng BFP gaya dito sa amin, dito sa Bagulin, La Union. Wherein PNP pa lang yung may PNP pa lang yung may station dito at wala pang BFP. So, yun talaga yung pinaka-importante. So, yun. Okay, so next issue. BFP should have their issued firearms. Sabi dito, arming the 29,286 firefighters of the Bureau of Fire Protection this year is both timely and practical in the government's drive against criminality, illegal drugs, terrorism, and violent extremism. Interior and Local Government Secretary Eduardo Anyo said that according to Anyo, firefighters will be armed with 9mm pistols to strengthen the government's law enforcement campaign, and also for self-defense purpose as fire victims out of frustration sometimes gang up on fire personnel during firefighting operations. Ito ano yung mga kasi fire victims ganun. Parang pinuput nila ng blame yung parang blame nila yung mga firefighters natin kung ba't may hindi sila naligtas, ganun, kung frustrate sila or kung hindi na ano yung mga gamit nila, parang sa BFP sinisisi lahat. Next, he said that BFP has requested funds from the Department of Budget and Management, DBM, to finance the purchase of 29,286 9mm firearms for the use of each uniformed BFP personnel. He also said that firefighters would undergo marksmanship and gun safety training before the issuance of their firearms. States this na hindi rin naman natin basta-basta aarmasan sila ng walang tamang training, the DILG Secretary said. Kasi tama nga naman kasi yung firearms hindi basta-basta yung pag-o-own nito. Yun. That's all.